Hello and welcome to this video presentation hosted by GXS. My name is Mark Morley, Industry Marketing Director. Over the next few minutes I would like to take you through a short presentation which discusses the importance and benefits of improving visibility into aftermarket related spare parts shipments. Over the last few years, a number of analyst firms have undertaken research into the service parts supply chain. One analyst firm has named the process involved with managing a service parts supply chain as Service Lifecycle Management. Many companies realize that they can achieve more profit in the aftermarket side of their business than the sale of new machinery or equipment. Therefore, many companies are starting to invest in growing the service side of their business in order to service their existing customers and ensure that equipment that is already in service can be maintained and kept in service for as long as possible. Improving the visibility of spare parts related shipments is a cross-industry problem. For example, ensuring that jet engines can have spare parts delivered to any maintenance hangar at any airport around the world, through to PCs or servers that need to have key components replaced as soon as a fault occurs, through to carrying out regular services on cars. Each industry has a different spare parts supply requirement, but they all share one common goal: to ensure that spare parts get delivered on time and to the correct location. One of the key reasons that companies are placing more emphasis on the service supply chain is the high margin and profitability that this part of the business can generate. As an example, in 2001, a survey conducted by Accenture found that General Motors made more profit on $9 billion worth of aftermarket parts related sales than they did on $150 billion worth of car related sales. This example alone helps to illustrate the profitability of the service parts sector and why companies see the importance of this. The chart on this slide illustrates the average profitability by different industry sectors, with aerospace and defense topping the list with an average of 47% profitability, and this contributes to an average 25% of their annual revenues. This level of profitability is achieved due to the fact that a company such as Rolls-Royce Aerospace will make more profit over the 20-year period that an engine is in service than they make on the initial sale of the engine. In fact, Rolls-Royce will sell an airline a complete package which will include the engine and accompanying parts to keep the engine in service for many years. The interesting thing is that many of these companies see the service sector as being relatively recession-proof, as many companies need to keep equipment and machinery in service even during an economic downturn. This slide provides an interesting comparison of the service parts supply requirements of different industry sectors. For example, in the high-tech sector, computers or servers will typically be in service for between 3 and 5 years. Parts are relatively low value and are supplied in a modular format to aid quick and easy replacement. Parts are distributed by both retail stores and specialist service centres. Many PCs, as with other consumer electronic goods, have 12-month warranty periods for replacement parts. In the automotive sector, parts are typically supplied from the manufacturer or OEM dealer network. Parts are normally replaced as part of a predefined service program or maybe as part of a warranty claim. A typical car warranty today lasts for 3 years, and some car manufacturers such as Hyundai are now offering 7-year warranty periods, so manufacturers need to be able to provide parts for these entire warranty periods. In the aerospace sector, parts are relatively high value. Parts for an aircraft or jet engine will follow a strict preventative maintenance replacement routine to maximize uptime and reliability. As explained earlier, complete service packages are sold with the initial product sale as they are very profitable. Finally, in the defense sector, parts must be delivered to the front line anywhere around the world. Parts are normally so sensitive or of high value that normal freight carriers such as DHL, for example, are not used, and instead the Army will use their own internal logistics operations to distribute spare parts. To ensure availability 24/7, parts are stockpiled in the regional parts depots. Today, due to a large amount of paper-based documents being used in the shipping process, substantial delays can be expected with the movement of spare parts shipments. Many service providers are faxing, emailing and even carrying paper-based documents. Faxes in particular will often have unreadable or missing information. Many trading partners use EDI internally and then resort to paper when conducting transportation or government business. End-to-end shipment visibility is limited to numerous proprietary software systems. Many of these are not real-time and do not cover all events from one end of a supply chain to the other. Quite often, rekeying in of data can lead to errors being made in shipping-related paperwork. Split shipments, changing modes, and other disruptions are also very difficult to manage. The visibility issues mentioned on the previous slide lead to a number of downstream problems. For example, delays in shipment arrivals. For example, a container could take 3 weeks to arrive from the Far East by sea, so many companies may need to hold buffer stocks until their shipments arrive. If there is going to be a long delay with parts arriving, then there could be a need to arrange for shipments to be expedited via air freight to allow important or critical service parts to arrive in a timely manner. If there are errors in paperwork, then the documents have to be either updated or recreated. If there is a delay with parts arriving, then it means that equipment could be out of service or experience downtime until the new parts arrive. This downtime can be frustrating and can often lead to a reduction in customer satisfaction levels. The service parts industry is very lucrative for many manufacturing-based companies. However, their profits are being eroded away by counterfeit parts entering their respective service supply chains. Now, with part marking, RFID and B2B visibility solutions available on the market, the only reason why OEMs manufacturers have been reluctant to do anything about this problem is the cost. It would cost millions of dollars to get a truly global parts tracking RFID infrastructure in place. PSA Peugeot Citroën in France is one of the first car companies to try and tackle this problem head-on, and they will be working with the Odette Automotive Industry Association in France to try and find a way to minimise spare parts related revenue losses, which they estimate to be between 5 and 10% of their spare parts related revenue. To address the business issues discussed earlier in this presentation, companies are looking for a supply chain visibility solution that can provide a platform which allows common web-based views of logistics information. Many customs and freight companies today have proprietary software solutions in place, which can be difficult to maintain and integrate to other enterprise systems. Allow for visibility into cross-border logistics and distribution related information. Monitoring of critical supply signals, thus improving inventory visibility, cash flow, and overall supply chain performance. Finally, provide a means to measure the performance of key third-party logistics providers so that inefficient third-party logistics providers can be identified and dealt with accordingly. GXS Active Logistics is at the core of GXS Service Parts Visibility Solution. Combined with GXS Managed Services, it allows virtually any interested party across the extended enterprise to be connected to the service. In this automotive example shown on this slide, the Service Parts Visibility Solution forms the communications hub between the car manufacturer, the spare parts manufacturers, the third-party logistics providers, and customer border control agencies. There is also a possibility to integrate the Service Parts Visibility platform to a dealer management system, thus providing a truly global view of inventory levels across a dealer network. The solution also provides a more accurate view of inventory levels for goods in transit across the supply chain. GXS has pre-configured connections to many of the customs and border control agencies around the world, and many of the world's freight companies are already connected to the service as well. The cloud-based, fully hosted nature of this platform allows companies to deploy this solution very quickly in any region of the world and at a relatively low cost when compared to an equivalent proprietary software-based offering. This concludes the presentation. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video presentation. For further information on how GXS Active Logistics can help companies improve end-to-end visibility of spare parts related shipments, please contact GXS via the details shown on this slide. Goodbye.